to the midday edition of Gospel Life News. This is where we'll bring you guys updates regarding music across the country. We also speak about Afrobeat and the guys that makes the beat. My name is Taki. You can spell my name as Darki, and then you know it obviously double E. Welcome again to Gospel Life News. The news, like I would always say, is buzzing. We have amazing content on the news. Asake, in less than 2 years in the game, I've just surpassed 1 billion stream on Spotify. We also have Rema doing good numbers everywhere. We have Mohbad's wife, who was talking about Wumi. She came out to give insights as to a part of the story. She insulted her father-in-law, talking about Mohbad's father, and she came out calling him names and also justifying the fact that she is innocent of all of this. Finally, we saw the lady who went out to dance seductively with Omale, has come out to apologize to friends, but then she did this reluctantly. But regardless, it is the effort that counts. The news, like I said, it's quite interesting. So I'll with you. I really will go nowhere. I also want to implore you guys to please put on your notification button so you'll be the first person to know whenever we'll make a video, post, or a content. Let's go straight to see what the news look like. Before then, I want to say a big thank you to our fans out there for doing what you do. We love you guys so much. Thank you for your love, your time, your energy, your consistency. It's really mean a lot to us. We are really grateful. And I was saying thank you. If you have a friend who is a lover of Afrobeat, who is a movement of the genre, we want to advise you to please share this page with this person. We are so sure that the person is going to come back and say thank you for sharing this page with him or her. So that you don't miss out on this news, you can now stream us live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Please come through. We are waiting for you on the space. Let's begin the news proper today with Rema. We saw Rema come down. It's the highest and the longest charting African song on the Billboard Digital Song Sales Chart. Just so you know, it has spent about 44 weeks on the chart and is currently the number 5th African song to rank in the US Song Sales Chart in the top 5. Massive run. Rema has just proven the fact that he is the GOAT when it comes to this category. He has been on number 1. He's been on different categories, different numbers, and arms of affairs of this chart talking on the Billboard, and it's only up that maybe in coming days or coming years from now, if he continues this run, the Billboard should consider changing the name from the Billboards to Rema's God. We saw talking about the Billboard also. Rema Calm Down is the highest and longest charting African song on the Billboard Radio Song Chart. That was the song sales chart, but this one is the radio song chart. So Rema Calm Down is currently number 1, and it has spent about 10 straight weeks as number 1, and by that, he is the only African song to top in the US overall radio chart. At the same time, his song is also the longest charting African song on the chart, having spent about 42 weeks on this massive chart. And moving on, we saw Rema Calm Down is the highest and longest charting African song on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. Rema Calm Down at the time, highest picking got to number 3. On the Billboard chart, and just so you know, it has also spent 57 weeks on the Billboard Hot on the chart, and that makes him the longest charting African song ever on the chart. And then by number 3, it also made him the highest charting African song on the charts. Still on Rema on the Billboard, so Rema Calm Down is the highest and longest charting African song on the Billboard streaming song chart. As number 11, it is the highest charting African song, and having spent 42 weeks on the chart, it is the longest charting African song on the Billboard streaming song charts. Away from the Billboard, let's go to YouTube, and on YouTube, Rema also is winning. So for the YouTube most viewed video daily chart, for the English category for the past 24 hours, Rema and Gomez Calm Down currently is at number 6, and for all video for the last 24 hours, Rema and Gomez Calm Down currently sit at number 69, and it has made about 930,000 YouTube views in just 24 hours. At the same time, we saw Rema Calm Down has been certified for platinum in the US after making sales of over 4 million units sales. That's a massive one for Rema. Having 4 platinum in the US just shows that you have a lot of fans in the US, and if you don't listen to your song, just like that advert, we will. Rema is really massive in the US, and his numbers and his songs are growing every day like wildfire. Moving on, we saw Rema JP have spent 17 consecutive weeks in the top 10 of the Nigerian Apple Music album charts. Having spent 17 consecutive weeks in the top 10 of the Nigerian Apple Music album chart. That's a massive one. I want to say big congrats to Rema for that one. Moving away from all of this, we go straight to Asake. Let's see what Asake is doing in his department. We saw Asake have just surpassed 400 million stream on Spotify. Asake have just surpassed 400 million stream on Spotify, and that on the project Mr. Money with the Vibe. Mr. Money with the Vibe just surpassed 400 million stream on Spotify, and that's a massive one. He is really doing good for himself. It just shows that in this short span, Asake has done massive numbers when it comes to Spotify. 400 million stream. These are other artists' career numbers and career stream that Asake has done in the space of just 2 years. And we must give him kudos for making that possible with his archives. Also coming in on a record-breaking achievement for Asake, in less than 2 years, Asake has done what some artists like Davido have not done in 10 years. In 2 years, Asake has just surpassed 1 billion career stream on Spotify across all credits. Now understand that he has done this with little collaboration, his own personal song, 2 albums, 2 EPs, and this put together has given him 1 billion career stream on Spotify across all credits. Mind you, Asake had not had no global song yet, no particularly trending song yet, but they're just Nigerian in-tune songs, and we have given this guy for us, just so you know, he has done his first 1 billion, and you can just tell that after a year it is progress from here. Moving on, we saw Nigerian dysfunctional player known as Alex Iwobi. After the African Cup of Nations, he was dragged mercilessly at the point he said he was considering retiring from the national football squad from the Super Eagles. We saw the likes of Tunde Not and Verda Blackman were being victimized for calling them out, and they called them names, insulted them. The likes of Asisha Toshuala came out to insult Tunde Not and also insult Very Dark Black Man for instigating all their fans to come out and insult Iwobi. But then Iwobi had the proper way of bouncing back, and he did that against English giant known as Manchester United. Over the weekend, we saw when Manchester United take home Fulham, and the match was supposed to be a United day. But however, the Nigerian stalwart came out and said, no, United will not have this one. We saw Bassi at the first goal where Man equalized, and then Alex Iwobi actually made the game 2-1, which obviously won Fulham the game. And then we saw in their press conference, Iwobi and Bassi were seen dancing to Asake Amapiano. And over the dressing room from the AFCON and all of that, we always saw them singing Amapiano and Lonely at the top. So you could tell that the Super Eagles are a big fan of Asake. Moving on, we saw Black Bones talking about Emeka came out yesterday to announce that Mr. Money just called to tell him that he was going to be at his concert. The concert is called the Breaking the Yoke of Love Volume 3, and this is the third year he's doing it back to back. It has Volume 1 was successful, Volume 2 was successful, and Volume 3 obviously was a success at Murio Kuala Park yesterday. However, Mr. Money with the Vibe Asake was not in attendance. But however, this obviously would have made people come out for the shows, got tickets, and regardless, he gave them an amazing show yesterday. And moving on, we saw Olamide New Religion, where featured Asake have just done 14 million streams on Spotify, while Amapiano, Asake song, where he featured Olamide, have also just done 54 million streams on Spotify. Talking about the top album Nigerian Spotify, we saw Work of Art have just been moved up to #1 on the Spotify weekly album chart when it comes to Nigeria. Massive one for Asake for his major and achievement when it comes to numbers. Moving on, we saw just after he performed at the Untold Festival in Dubai, we saw the Evolve magazine had nothing but good words to say regarding Asake. They had this to say, they said, Asake's presence at the Untold Festival in Dubai transcended mere performance. It became an immersive experience that resonated deeply with the crowd beyond delivering stunning musical renditions. Asake created a moment of connection, energy, and shared euphoria, leaving an unforgettable imprint on the festival goers. Throughout the performance, Asake's ability to connect with the audience on a visceral level became increasingly apparent, forging an unbreakable bond throughout the performance. And for Asake, we've understood so far that he has learned how to create a bond between him and his fans. He has done that over and over again, from the O2 to the Barclays Center, to his concerts in Lagos and Abuja, to the Night of Generals, and now as in Dubai, he also has created that bond on how to move and rotate with his fans. We've seen him jump into the crowd, we've seen him shaking hands of his fans. So he has created the chemistry where his fans can feel him, and he also is feeling the fans. Moving on, we have Mohbad as the next guy on the news. We saw Bella Shmurda had a show in London where he actually brought out his friends, his colleagues. He came out, the likes of Shode was around for the concert in London. But however, while he was doing that, we saw where he paid tribute to his friend, his late friend, known as Mohbad, and they played the song together. He performed this song they had together at London, and obviously it was nice to see. It was nice to see that the friendship really is still there even after Mohbad is no more. Bella obviously was there to show support. We saw where while he was alive, he was always there, bringing support, making sure that Mohbad was obviously taken care of before he passed. Moving on, we saw Rexy coming out to give his 2 cents over the situation when it comes to people's reaction on cruise. He said Nigerians are just catching cruise. Nigeria are just catching cruise when it has to do with Mohbad, because he said if it is justice, Nigerians were just catching premium cruise, because we ought to be looking for justice, but every other person that is not doing what justice is supposed to serve are just catching cruise. And for Nigerians, we understand that we really love to catch cruise when it comes to trending conversations. For Rexy, that is his own reservations when it comes to the issue that concerns Mohbad. Moving on, we saw Wumi talking about Mohbad's wife, came out to call out her father-in-law, and then she had this to say about the man. Less than 2 weeks after my husband's demise, the self-acclaimed African television CEO, Larry Omodia, reached out to me offering to raise 10 million naira for my son if I agreed to do the DNA. But I ignored this message. Afterwards, he started harassing me with telephone calls to have an interview with me, which I refused and blocked his number. Thereafter, he and his cohort started bullying and defaming me on TikTok. On October 31st, Auntie Iyabo Ojo posted an update about me coming out to speak publicly after the coroner inquest. He tested me with a different phone number again, which I blocked. Unknown to me, my father-in-law had signed a contract with the African TV CEO, Larry Omodia, on a ratio of 70-30 on my husband on paid royalties on the Malian record label. Larry takes 70 and my father-in-law takes 30. This explains the reason why they were desperate about conducting DNA on my son, but by not okay, he said this explains the reason why they were desperate about conducting DNA on my son over our husband, by not wanting to go through the court process so the result could be manipulated to suit their greed at the time. Then she came out again to say when the news of my father-in-law 70-30 contract with the TV CEO leaked online, his bloggers as usual all jumped out like Aja to defend him and bullied the African TV CEO into silence. But before the African TV CEO went into exile, he stated, and I quote, "There is a difference between a grieving father and a greedy father. Baba Mohbad is a greedy father and is not mourning his son." And then she came out to say, as little as I am still the mother of my child, and nobody in this world is going to take his right away from him, with or without his father. Then she also had this to say again. She said, they silenced my husband by spreading rumors that he was on drugs, and now they have been targeting me by releasing a voice note I recorded a few years ago for medical purposes. They are attacking our only child by labeling him as an illegitimate. My husband was messed up mentally, psychologically, and physically. If he had continued speaking publicly about his strategies, perhaps he would still be alive today. I wish he had someone the courage to come public as many times as he could, but he didn't want anyone to see him to see his vulnerability. He was a gentle and calm soul, making a man feel inferior, making him live in fear, assaulting him, and publicly, among others, is what they subjected my husband to. The last time they attacked him, I begged him to speak out, but he felt powerless against the influence of the industry gods. The DNA issue is one that has brought tears to my eyes and pain to my heart, and my legal team has advised me not to dignify anyone with a response. However, I feel compelled to address this misconception arising from my silence. Let me clarify, there has never been any doubt or discussion about Liam's paternity until my husband's demise. It is disheartening to hear false narrative circulating on social media. My husband never for once questioned the paternity of our sunshine during his lifetime. Neither did my father-in-law or his family. The first time I heard about his doubt was on social media. He never spoke. He never spoke to me personally about the DNA till this very day. My father-in-law legal team reached out to my legal team, who then gave him the terms and conditions in which the DNA will be conducted. She said, I am using this medium to beg the public to plead my father-in-law to obtain the court order so the DNA can be conducted. It's been 3 months and he has not made a single move on the DNA process, other than soliciting for funds online, instigating the public against myself and my son by setting us up for badly and defaming my character, for bully and defaming my character. These were the words from Wumi, late Mohbad's wife. But the quick question is, why are we having it back and forth of the family? Now, 2 weeks ago, it was Mohbad's mother coming out to tell the public that Mohbad's father was not the father of Mohbad. Now, it's Mohbad's wife saying Mohbad's father is a good person. So we just hope this all information comes to an end as soon as possible. Finally, we saw the lady who Omale danced with on stage as apologized to her boyfriend, and then she said she was the one who bought tickets and not the other way around, as the public are making it look. She said she got the tickets. She's a big fan of Omale, and then she said she spoke to her boyfriend about the conversation because she has followed the Omale concert. Omale was always bringing out a lady on stage, and then she has dreamt about how she was going to be brought up on stage, and then she spoke to her boyfriend about it, and the guy said he was cool about the situation. However, it's now online, it's everywhere, and then she felt it wise to come out and clarify the fact that she is sorry, she apologized to the boyfriend, and but what is standing is the fact that she spoke to the boyfriend about it and they agreed on mutual terms. Nigerians, we hope after seeing this, we can calm down, take a chill pill, and forgive this lady. My name is Daki. We'll catch you guys in the very next one.